Is Ukraine using highly advanced high-tech missiles to launch attacks deep into Russian-occupied territories? And how precise were these new secret missiles used in the most recent Mariupol attacks? Recent claims of Ukrainian Army attacks on Russian military sites in the southern Ukrainian city of Mariupol have increased tensions in the continuing confrontation between them. These attacks appear to have surpassed the range of missile systems known to be deployed in Ukraine. The accuracy and range of Ukrainian missile systems have surprised the Russians and most military analysts in the West. They have drawn suspicion despite the Ukrainian military forces' historical deployment of long-range weaponry like HIMARS and M270 missile systems. There is speculation that a newly developed weapon is involved. And what does this imply for the conflict's future? Keep up with the most recent happenings by listening to our coverage. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine has been ongoing since 2014 and has had a significant effect on both countries as well as on the global geopolitical landscape. If one wants to completely understand the intricacy of this fight and its impacts, it is necessary to get some wider knowledge of the history and military capabilities of both countries. Furthermore, the wider geopolitical repercussions of this war have affected not just the region but also global politics. In recent days, the Ukrainian armed forces have attacked Mariupol several times with an unidentified long-range weapon. It was previously believed that the port city, which is located on the Russian-occupied Azov Sea, was out of reach for Ukrainian artillery and missiles, as the nearest Ukrainian forces are located 80 kilometers away. Mariupol is a crucial supply corridor for the Russian army, housing their logistics centers and supply chain. There were numerous independent witness statements of the attack, and they also confirmed explosions and damage. Both the locally controlled Russian media outlets and independent Ukrainian news sources reported that the strikes occurred during the night of February 21st and 22nd, followed by a string of strikes on February 23rd. Nevertheless, not all reports supported the assertion that the armed forces of Ukraine had used a highly advanced, long-range weapon during the strikes. It appeared that Russian local administration sources played down the whole situation, saying that most Ukrainian rockets and drones were intercepted by Russian forces. The majority of reports, video evidence, and eyewitness accounts from February 21st said there had been a total of 15 explosions. The footage depicts intensive anti-aircraft gunfire from the Russian army and anti-aircraft missile launches. The night skies above Mariupol's western Kalmius neighborhood were lit up with tracer fire. Moreover, several social media sites also showed images of explosions on the ground. At least 11 or 12 explosions were reported to have happened at Mariupol airport, and 2 or 3 more at a neighboring steel plant. The strikes, according to exiled Ukrainian local government sources, seriously damaged Russian army barracks at a nearby steel plant. They also set fire to 2 significant aviation fuel storage facilities at the airport. The sites of the strikes were confirmed by the Ukrainian National News Agency, which stated that a military aviation ammunition storage facility had been damaged. 3 further explosions were reported on Wednesday, one of which was confirmed by several sources to have happened close to the ports. On February 22nd, 11 more Ukrainian missiles are said to have attacked military targets in the Mariupol region. To prevent these valuable military assets from being hit by a surprise attack, the Russian Air Force removed its Su-25 ground strike aircraft from the airport. These aircraft appeared to be attempting to escape to safety in the air. There were also further explosions on the coast outside Mariupol's city center. The targets here seemed to be aimed at troop concentrations. This was previously considered safe ground for the Russians. Ukraine could be shaping the battlefield before a fresh offensive. There are now hopes raised within Ukrainian circles that these attacks are the start of a wider offensive in the south of the country. The first step in softening enemy bases, troop concentrations, and eroding supply lines is to employ ground and pound tactics. The senior spokesperson for AFU's Joint Forces South, Natalia Humeniuk, on February 23rd detailed the 3 days of strikes and the first formal confirmation of this fact. She claimed in an ambiguous diplomatic statement, "We can only declare clearly at this time that inaccessibility is a very relative concept. It's not always accurate to say that something is too far away to be reached. Mariupol is no longer fully out of our grasp in that direction. The armed forces of Ukraine had, by some method, targeted areas in Mariupol from a farther distance than was previously feasible. Oleksiy Danilov, Ukraine's Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council, said our military destroyed Russian terrorists who invaded our city called Mariupol. And believe me, distance is not of great importance to us today. In its daily update, the UK Ministry of Defense has stated that since 21 February 2023, pro-Russian officials have reported at least 14 explosions around the Russian-occupied city of Mariupol. Sites of the incidents have included an ammunition cache at the airport, 2 fuel depots, and a steelworks that Russia uses as a military base. Mariupol lies at least 80 kilometers away from the front line. Russia will likely be concerned that unexplained explosions are occurring in a zone it may have previously assessed as beyond the range of routine Ukrainian strike capabilities. What could have caused these explosions? Since their deployment in Ukraine in late June, the US-made M270 and HIMARS multiple launch rocket systems have become the AFU's most often employed long-range attack weapons. These systems have mainly been used by the Ukrainians to launch satellite GPS precision-guided missiles at valuable targets like Russian command centers or supply stockpiles. It is well known that the United States has delayed supplying long-range missiles to the Ukrainians in fear that if they were used against the Russian mainland, the war could escalate further and spur Russian aggression towards the West. The maximum range of the M31A1 missiles made available to the Ukrainians for the HIMARS and M270 systems is around 70 kilometers, depending on firing circumstances. Military analysts are now speculating that a weapon other than the well-known HIMARS may have been used after the attacks on Mariupol. Could a drone have caused this damage, or have the Ukrainians finally received long-range missiles like the American-Swedish GLSMBs? One surprise candidate is the Vilka-M, a Ukrainian heavy multiple rocket launcher based on old Soviet-era technology that fires guided missiles. The Ukrainians are currently working on modifying them to get a higher firing range and better accuracy. The firing range is a distance of 130 kilometers. These MLRS can be ideally deployed to destroy targets over a large distance, such as enemy ammunition dumps and command posts. The missiles are extremely difficult to stop by electronic warfare using techniques like signal jamming, as they are fitted with a guidance system that does not rely on GPS. Their only problem is that they do not have the pinpoint accuracy of the HIMARS missile system. There are also reports that the United Kingdom has played a leading role in the supply of advanced weapons. They stand behind the United States and Germany in providing the finest and most advanced hardware and intelligence. On the 18th of February, UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak told an international conference of his intention to supply Ukraine with long-range missiles to aid in their fight against the Russians. This has fueled speculation that these NATO standard missiles are now deployed in Ukraine. Analysts are debating if this is the game changer that is needed to shift the balance of power. The conflict between Ukraine and Russia has had a significant impact on the world. It has become a geopolitical issue since powerful foreign nations have sided with either side and offered covert military support. The issue has harmed relations between Russia and the West and might significantly alter the balance of power in Europe and East-West relations. We appreciate you watching our video on the recent attacks on Mariupol and the rumors surrounding the secret weapons employed. It's critical to keep up with the newest developments in the crisis in Ukraine and their possible effects on the surrounding area and the rest of the world. What do you think about the potential of using upgraded, more potent weapons in the Ukrainian war? How might this impact the current crisis? Please share your opinions in the comment section below. If you enjoyed our video and want to be up to date on it and other international news, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. This will enable you to see more interesting content like this. Until next time, see you later.